Introducing the new ThermOWeb Deco Foil Adhesive Transfer designs, including this fun set, Cheers, as well as the new Oh Hello set, which includes 3 sizes of hello transfers, as well as sub-sentiments, and Happy Everything with 3 sizes of happy transfers and several different sub-sentiments, including birthday. This new release also includes new A2 toner card fronts, Happy Everything and Oh Hello. There are new stamp and die sets of both Happy Everything and Oh Hello. The stamp sets have 3 different sizes of Happy and Hello. The stamp sets come with coordinating dies that cut out each size of the hello and happy sentiments. The best thing about these dies is that they also cut out each size of the Oh Hello and Happy Everything Deco Foil Adhesive Transfer designs, and they cut out the same sizes on the A2 card fronts. So in all, the dies cut out 3 sizes of hellos and happies on the card fronts, adhesive transfers, and stamped images. To use the adhesive transfers with your die cut machine, you can trim around the adhesive transfer you want to use, or you can use the dies to cut them out. Once trimmed down, peel off the back protective layer and place the adhesive transfer down on your cardstock or paper. Once placed down, gently rub on the front. You can use these transfers on any colorful or white cardstock, but smooth cardstock will be the easiest to get a good transfer. The sub-sentiments can be trimmed with a paper trimmer. Then remove the backing and place down on cardstock. It's easy to create a sentiment strip if you place the sub-sentiments along the edge of the cardstock. To apply all of these adhesive transfers to the cardstock, place them inside a ThermOWeb carrier sheet and run it through a die cut machine. Use the same die cutting sandwich you would use for thin metal dies. Once each adhesive transfer has been passed through the die cut machine, carefully peel back the top protective layer, revealing the adhesive has transferred to the cardstock. Then, cut out a piece of Deco Foil Transfer Sheet to cover the entire adhesive transfer. Place the silver side down on the adhesive, which will leave the color side facing up towards you. Once all transfers have been covered with foils, place the foil and cardstock combos inside a carrier sheet and run through your die cut machine with the same thin metal die sandwich used before. The carrier sheet helps keep anything from your plates transferring to your project. Carefully peel back the foil to see how the foil transferred to the adhesive on the cardstock. Don't forget that the dies from the stamp and die sets can cut out these foiled sentiments too. Simply line up the dies outside the foiling and hold it in place using ThermOWeb pixie tape. It's important that the pixie tape only touch the die and paper outside the die. If the tape touches the foil, it may remove it. Now you have a foiled die cut sentiment that can be adhered or even popped up on a paper craft project. To work with the Cheers set that does not have coordinating dies, simply trim the adhesive transfers you want to use from the sheet. Just like before, peel off the back protective layers of the transfers you've trimmed down and place them down on cardstock or paper. Place them inside a carrier sheet and run through your die cut machine, just as we did previously. Carefully and slowly peel up the top protective layer. If you go too quickly, the transfer may not stay on the cardstock or it may tear. Then place small pieces of foil with the color side up and the silver side down on the transfers. Again, place them in a carrier sheet and run them through the die cut machine. Peel off the foil to reveal the fun foiled designs. Although there are no dies for this set, they are very easy to fussy cut out. To use the stamps from this release, try out some colorful inking techniques, such as multicolor stamping. Ink up one of the larger sentiment stamps with several colors of ink, using the darkest color at the bottom of the stamp to create a gradient of color. When inking with a new color, use an ink tool or your finger to get rid of any harsh lines, and the colors will seem to blend from one to the other in the final image. You can use the coordinating die and some pixie tape to cut this image out. Another way to use the stamps is to create a rainbow of stamped sentiments. By using a stamp positioner, start at the bottom of an A2 card panel and stamp in the last color of the rainbow. Then slide the cardstock up while keeping the stamp in the same position and stamp the next color. Continue this process until you run out of room, then reposition the stamp so you can continue stamping in different colors until you reach the top of the panel. To use the toner card fronts, cut them out with the dies. Again, being careful to keep the pixie tape off the toner and the cardstock that is inside the die. If there's any pixie tape residue on the die cut, the foil will stick to it. Once die cut, it is time to transfer foil to the die cut. For any toner images, you need to use heat from a laminator to transfer the foil. Pressure alone will not do it. Place the die cut toner inside a carrier sheet, and again, place a piece of foil slightly larger than the sentiment with the color side up and the silver side down on the toner. Insert the folded edge of the carrier sheet inside the laminator that is nice and hot. The carrier sheet keeps the laminator from getting jammed with pieces of foil. Once it's cool enough to handle, peel back the foil to reveal the foiled die cut. You can also foil the sub-sentiments and then trim those down to foiled sentiment strips. Another way to foil the toner card fronts is to use a foil sheet such as Mystic Rainbow, cut slightly larger than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and cover the entire toner card front. Place in a carrier sheet and run through the hot laminator. When you peel and reveal, all the sentiments and sub-sentiments have been covered with different parts of the rainbow foil. If you don't have a die cut machine, you can also use the laminator to adhere the foil adhesive transfers. Simply cut out the designs you want from the sheet. Peel off the back protective layer and press the design onto the cardstock. Place the transfer and cardstock into the carrier sheet and run through the laminator. Here, you are using heat to transfer the adhesive to the cardstock rather than the pressure of a die cut machine. Once cooled enough to touch, carefully peel off the top protective layer to reveal the adhesive. Trim a piece of foil to slightly larger than the design and place it down with the color side up into the carrier sheet and run through the laminator one more time. Again, you're using the heat from the laminator to transfer the foil to the adhesive this time. Once out of the laminator and cooled, peel off the foil to reveal the foiled sentiments. So whether you use toner card fronts with a laminator or Deco Foil Adhesive Transfers in a die cut machine or laminator, or simply stamps and dies from this new release, you will have plenty of sentiments to use on a bunch of cards. For this first card, trim the sentiment panel from Cheers down to 4 by 5 1/4 and use ThermOWeb Ultra Bond liquid glue to adhere it to glitter cardstock background. Then use ThermOWeb white foam squares to pop up the fussy cut foiled cocktail images to complete the card. To use the rainbow stamped happy sentiments, simply trim the sub-sentiment to a strip and pop it up with foam squares in the middle. For this card, trim the foiled panel down to 4 by 5 1/4 to mat on a darker color of cardstock. Pop up a foiled sub-sentiment strip and add strips of glitter cardstock with ThermOWeb's Memory Runner XL to complete the simple but shiny card. For this card, use an embossed panel trimmed down and matted on some dark pink cardstock. Pop up a rainbow foiled happy die cut and then use tape runner to apply the sentiment strip. For the next card, die cut the largest happy out of the toner card front that has different parts of the rainbow foil applied to it. Find pattern paper that matches the colors on that foiled die cut and adhere it down to some bright cardstock. Pop up the large foiled happy and use tape runner on the sentiment strip for different levels of dimension. Add a cute embellishment to complete the card. As you can see, the latest ThermOWeb release of Deco Foil Adhesive Transfers, toner card fronts, and stamp and die sets make it so easy to pull together a bunch of fun, foiled, stamped, or die-cut sentiments for a big variety of cards.